Look at that guy over there. He seems quite unsettling. I overheard the female employees whispering, and I instinctively stepped back. I'm Jason, and today I'm scheduled to meet the female CEO of a rival company. How can he have the nerve to visit our CEO? With each step across the office, I could hear the cold murmurs of the female staff, making me wonder if I had done something wrong. But if I hadn't acted then, who knows what would have happened to the CEO of this company? People can complain all they want. I haven't committed any wrongdoing. Repeating this to myself, I found myself standing in front of the CEO's office. It all started a few weeks ago. Our company and Red Rose Incorporated, a rival, decided to collaborate on a product. The company I work for primarily designs and sells shoes for men. While we do have a women's shoe design department, we lag far behind Red Rose Incorporated in terms of quality and popularity. That's when they approached us for a collaboration. Furthermore, the collaborative product idea came directly from the CEO of Red Rose Incorporated. The CEO of the renowned fashion brand, Red Rose Incorporated, had taken a keen interest in a shoe design of mine. She specifically requested that I create a pair of high-heel shoes for their line. This was a new challenge, as my previous work had focused solely on men's footwear. I couldn't help but wonder if I possessed the expertise to design high heels that would captivate and satisfy the discerning tastes of women. Determined to take on this opportunity, I paid a visit to the impressive Red Rose Incorporated headquarters. The building exuded an air of elegance, with its expansive glass walls, gleaming white marble floors, and an aura that felt almost cinematic. As I approached the ground floor, I was greeted by a group of strikingly beautiful receptionists, each radiating a refined and professional demeanor. Hello, and welcome to Red Rose Incorporated. How may I assist you? A friendly voice chimed. Upon introducing myself as Jason, the receptionist responded with a warm smile. Ah, Jason. We've been expecting you. Please follow me. I could hear the distinct click of her high heels on the marble floor as she led the way, surrounded by a sea of stylishly dressed women, all effortlessly carrying themselves with grace and confidence. This workplace seems to have more women than men. Doesn't look too comfortable for us guys, huh? I tried to start a conversation. The receptionist simply nodded in response. I chuckled nervously, thinking that might be the secret behind their success in women's fashion. I've heard Red Rose Incorporated is dominated by female employees, I continued. Yes, our motto is to create an environment where women feel most at ease. I absolutely love working here, she said, beaming brightly. Upon reaching the CEO's office on the top floor, I saw a stunning display of women's footwear in the center. A woman was admiring a pair of those shoes. That's the CEO, Mrs. Mary Johnson. Nice to meet you. Oh, you're already here. She looked surprised when I greeted her, then gave me a warm, endearing smile that made my heart skip a beat. Please, have a seat over here. I'll prepare some tea for us. Thank you, I replied. Urged by the president, I took a seat on the couch. She soon returned, carrying a tray with an elegant tea set. The delightful aroma of the tea was quite captivating, and even with my limited knowledge, I could tell this was no ordinary brew. Here you go. It's minty. I hope you enjoy it, my boss offered. Compared to her, I felt like we were worlds apart as I marveled at the elegance of her gesture. She then presented a sketchbook, revealing the detailed drawing of the shoes I had designed. Intrigued, I asked, "What's this?" She explained that she had been sketching my shoes as part of her research, noting their simple yet comfortable design that could complement any outfit. They may not be flashy, but they're versatile, and that's what I'm aiming for. Shoes that look good on everyone, no matter what they wear, she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Feeling encouraged, I may have said something slightly embarrassing, but she responded by firmly grasping my hand. Please design shoes for our company. They don't have to be extravagant, just ones that look good on anyone, she said, her voice brimming with excitement. It's an honor to collaborate with such a talented individual, I mused. However, I still harbored some concerns that I couldn't ignore. I decided to voice my thoughts. Your brand is highly regarded among women for its footwear. I believe you have many gifted designers who understand the needs and desires of your female customers. We certainly have a wealth of talented designers, but their sensibilities don't align with our current direction. They tend to cater to a select group of people, she replied. A select group? I inquired further. They believe that only beautiful women should be able to enjoy fashion. There was a time when I, too, prioritized beauty above all else. But that's not enough. Every woman deserves the opportunity to feel stylish and confident. I recalled the fashionable women I had seen on my way to the president's office and found myself nodding in agreement. When I asked them to create shoes that would fit and flatter any woman, they dismissed the idea, saying it's the fault of those who don't make an effort to look their best. That's a rather harsh stance. I responded, feeling somewhat sympathetic towards the CEO's predicament. Regardless of one's appearance, making such a statement can be off-putting. So, what made you choose me? I inquired. Your shoes are wonderful. They possessed a charm and versatility that we've been lacking. Shoes that any woman can wear and feel stylish in. That passion of mine, which I had almost lost, has been restored, she expressed with a grin. Seeing the president's captivating smile, who wouldn't feel invigorated by such praise? Very well. Let's work together to create the finest shoes, I replied joyfully, and she beamed in response. Little did we realize then that a significant commotion was about to unfold. A few days later, I visited the Red Rose for another meeting with Mary. It's me, Jason. Upon reaching her office and knocking on the door, I sensed something was amiss. Typically, Mary would greet me enthusiastically, but there was no response. Excuse me, I'm coming in, I said, feeling uneasy. I entered her office and found Mary lying motionless on the floor. Mary. I rushed to her, but she remained still. Hoping against all odds, I placed my ear to her chest, but there was no heartbeat. I felt the blood drain from my face. My hands were trembling, but I recalled the AED training I had received during a certification course and promptly contacted the secretary's desk. Mary's collapsed. Please call an ambulance right now, and if there's an AED, bring it. I quickly instructed the secretary on the phone and tried CPR on Mary, but her heart didn't budge. Darn it, is it too late? Sorry, I've brought it. The secretary arrived with the AED. Thank you. Mary, I'm so sorry. As I lifted Mary's clothing to attach the AED, the secretary nearby exclaimed, "Oh my," and covered her face with her hands, blushing deeply. But there was no time to worry about that. I immediately attached the AED to Mary's chest and activated it, causing her body to jolt with a loud zap. Still, there was no change. Panicking, I followed the AED's voice instructions and activated it again. After another loud jolt, Mary started breathing with difficulty. Mary, are you okay? Please don't move. After confirming her breathing, I gently covered her with my coat. Just as I was about to ask the anxious secretary if the ambulance was on its way, I heard sirens. Can you show the paramedics in when they arrive? Yes, she rushed out of the room to guide them. Later, Mary was transported to the state hospital. Mary later contacted me to say that she had a pre-existing heart condition and had collapsed after a seizure. Thanks to the quick response, she was told she could be discharged soon without any lingering effects. Hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. However, the next day, Jason, what on earth had you done? Waiting for me as I arrived at the office was the manager, with a displeased look on his face. I was summoned first thing in the morning and yelled at, but I had no idea what it was about. I haven't done anything. There was a request from Red Rose to cancel the current collaboration project. Is it because Mary collapsed? No, they say it's because you did something inappropriate to Mary. Inappropriate. Hearing that made me think of the previous day's event. I had indeed lifted Mary's shirt to use the AED, but that was to save Mary's life. I didn't do it with any guilty conscience. So, I hear you lifted Mary's shirt to use the AED. They're suggesting you might have done that just because you wanted to. That's outrageous. Anyway, Mary needs to rest now. Reflect deeply on this and stay away from Red Rose. I was so frustrated I clenched my back teeth. Mary and I had gone through numerous meetings over the past few weeks, tweaking the design I came up with. To think it was all for nothing. Please, I'll do anything to avoid canceling this collaboration. Can't you help me convince them? I bowed my head, hoping at least to clear up the misunderstanding, and the manager let out a big sigh. What are you talking about? Even if the AED incident hadn't happened, the collaboration couldn't go on after Mary collapsed. This project needs her personal supervision. But Mary's direction is already reflected at this point. If I take the lead, understanding her will and the purpose of the collaboration, I can see it through. I remembered how she smiled when she saw my design drawings. I am sure she will be the saddest if the project falls through here. I just couldn't let that happen. Even so, it's a request from them. There's nothing I can do. This can't be. The manager turned his back on me to end the conversation. Just then, his cell phone rang. Who could that be at this time? Is it Mary? He stood up with a loud noise, taking the call in a flustered manner. Yes. So the project will continue? Correct. Understood. I nervously paced, overhearing the conversation and seeing the manager nodding profusely on the phone. When he finished the call, he turned to me with a beaming smile. It seems there was a misunderstanding. Mary just called to say the collaboration will continue. Good for you. Really? I was so relieved by the manager's words that I lost strength in my legs and sat down right there. But is Mary really okay? And how did this misunderstanding happen? A wave of anxiety swept over me. Looks like we'll be resuming our meetings tomorrow. Can you make it to Red Rose? Yes. Despite a touch of unease, I was thrilled that the project was back on track. The next day, I arrived at the CEO's office as usual. I'm glad you could make it. I'm really sorry for the trouble I've caused. I had no idea my chronic condition would flare up like that. Relieved to see you're unharmed, I entered the CEO's office as usual. Mary promptly apologized, though I felt it should have been the other way around. Despite the emergency, my actions had caused her distress. I'm deeply sorry about the incident, I said. Some employees were evidently unsettled by it. Mary's response surprised me. She seemed angry, not relieved. Upset because you saved me, she retorted, then abruptly left to summon everyone to the hall. Her typically poised demeanor had vanished. I'll be back shortly, she said, departing with a look of regret. Months passed, and we achieved our goal. We successfully created a prototype for the high heels we had been working on. Here is the paraphrased version of the given text, maintaining the same length. A captivating wine-hued color caught Mary's eye as she gazed upon the shoes displayed. They're simply stunning. I've always dreamed of owning something like this, she sighed wistfully. Mary's passion for footwear was no secret. That day, she swiftly convened an urgent staff meeting to address the misunderstanding regarding the AED matter. She clarified that I had not acted with any ill intent in lifting her clothing. To my surprise, several employees later approached me to offer apologies, and I was relieved that the confusion had been resolved. They were probably just envious of your talent, a colleague remarked. Do you really think so? I wonder if I'm truly talented enough to be the object of envy. Mary pondered aloud. I can't say for certain, but what I do know is that shoes must be designed with the wearer's needs in mind. Perhaps they simply failed to grasp that essential principle. I then offered, would you like to try on the prototype? It appears to be the perfect size for you. Mary's face lit up at the suggestion. She slipped off her black heels and stepped into the wine-red high heels on display. Wow, these are much more comfortable than they look, she exclaimed as she walked around the room. Watching her gracefully navigate in the high heels, I felt a sense of satisfaction that this project had finally come to fruition. We can face and conquer this challenge as a united front. My desire is to witness her joyful expression more often.